Hi, my friends. Welcome in. My name is Dina, and I'm a guide here at Get Set Up. Specifically, I'm a guide who teaches art. I want to share with you something really cool that we're doing here at Get Set Up. Now, Get Set Up offers you tons of classes that you can take, a lot of those even in art. But there might be times during your day that you want to try something different. I want to introduce you to AI, specifically our AI named Helen. My friends, AI is here to stay. So rather than us trying to reject it, let's embrace it and see what AI can do for us, specifically in art. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you so that we can get started and I can share some of this stuff with you. So here we have the main page or the home page of Get Set Up. If we look at the top blue bar up here at the top, you can see right underneath our logo, we have home and lots of other places for you to explore. I want to introduce you to Helen. Helen is our AI. Now, she does appear right here where it asks you the question, have you met Helen? She's our AI assistant. But we can also click on this button over here, and that's what we're going to do so that we can see a lot of the wonderful things that Helen can do for us, specifically when it comes to art. Now, earlier I asked her a question about art journaling, and she is going ahead and answering that question from earlier. I want to start with something different. So if we look down here, it says type any question here. Let's talk to her about art. I'm in the mood to do some art today. So, but I don't know where to start. I don't know what to do. So let's just say I want to paint today. What can I paint? Let's see what she says. Very general question. Now, one thing I want to show you that Helen is doing right now that's really great is over here on the right-hand side. She's giving us a bunch of related classes that are offered here on Get Set Up. Here's a watercolor potted plant. Here's something with acrylics. So already she's giving us two mediums to play around with. And if we scroll down, we're going to get those. But another thing that Helen does that I love, now I didn't ask for these questions specifically. Remember, I said painting, but she's going to give me other related classes that maybe I didn't even think about. Here's one on art journaling. Keep scrolling down. Here's one on how to write an artist statement. Here's one about making jewelry. Isn't that fabulous? Oh, I love this one. How to start selling your art on Etsy. Remember, we're asking a specific question in a very general area about art. Another thing here are related articles. So sometimes we can click on that and we can see related articles that are provided here for us on Get Set Up. And it tells us how long the read is, as well as what is that. So we can click on that as well. Let's go back up here to the related classes. We're going to come back to that in a second, but let's go ahead and come over here and let's see what she told us. I'm just going to scroll back up. I told her, I want to paint today. What can I paint? She says, it's wonderful to hear that you want to paint today. By the way, Helen is incredibly kind. She says, paint a nature scene, do abstract art, maybe a still life or a portrait. And she goes on, look how many ideas she's going to give you. That's really great. She also talks about setting a theme that resonates with you and so on and so forth. If we go down just a little bit further, she has follow-up questions. Now, she also tells us we can continue the conversation down here in this box, or we could do one of these follow-up questions. What about painting a still life with fruits or flowers? What easy painting ideas suit limited mobility? One thing, as we age, sometimes our mobility becomes a little limited. She's got answers about that as well. How painting can help express feelings about everyday life. Art is so tied to emotion, so that is something that you could explore. But let's go back up here. I really love this idea about abstract art, right? I've heard about abstract art. I don't know what it is. Let's ask Helen. What is abstract art? Let's type that in. So she's going to give us a little bit more information on something that she already gave us information about, but we want more. So she's thinking over here. And as she's thinking, we can scroll back over here to the related classes. What I love about this is she knows that Alma Thomas right here is an abstract artist. She pulled that up. She knows. So I could watch this class on Alma Thomas. Let's go ahead and see what happens if I click on this class. Here we go. Once I do that, another screen is going to pop up right here. And here is class on Alma Thomas. Inspirational artist, Alma Thomas and her concentric circles, which is great. So I can sit here and I can watch the whole class if I want. I can pause it when I need to. Also over here on the right, in this big white area over here, that's Helen again. She hasn't left you. So you decide you want to make some abstract art, you find the class, and there's Helen. She can help you with more questions that you have. Maybe you want to know a little bit more about abstract art, what supplies that you need, but she also is going to give you those questions. Tell me more about this class. What else can Helen do for me? Instead, let's just ask her a question. What is abstract art? And let's see if she answers. So over here, again, she's typing out an answer for me, which is fabulous. This is going on over here. Let's just pause this for a second, pretend that, we're watching the class, but we really want to know what abstract art is. And she's typing. It does take her a moment to think sometimes. We can also look around. There's other things for you to explore on this page as well. But what I really want to show you is that Helen never leaves your side. Remember, I said AI is great. We're going to incorporate it into our lives. Work better, not harder, right? And that's what Helen does. She talks about, if we scroll back up, she gives great answers. Here is the actual definition of what abstract art is, but it's not just a sentence. She goes in. She's going to even ask me some questions that can make me think a little bit more about abstract art. Of course, I can answer those questions, or I can look at these little follow-up questions. How can colors be mixed to create vibrant effects? What a great question. So she's going to lead you down there. So you can answer those questions or ask those questions to her while you're watching. What a great thing to incorporate into your artistic journey. Let's go ahead and close that out. And let's come back to Helen over here. Now, remember, I asked her what abstract art was over here as well. Look at all of this information that she gives us. So we're going to scroll down. We can read all of this. Here she's got some notable abstract artists. That's really great to know. And here's some more subject or suggested follow-up questions. How can art be created using everyday materials? That's a really great question. Let's go back up and talk about these notable abstract artists. Maybe I want to know a little bit about Vasily Kandinsky. So I can say, what did or what paintings did Kandinsky do? And let's see what she says. What paintings did Kandinsky do? Let's look over here on the right-hand side about these classes that just popped up. Again, now we've got Georgia O'Keeffe. That's an abstract artist. Van Gogh. He's surrealism, but it's close. We've got Alma Thomas again. But look, synesthesia and neurographic drawing. Synesthesia, Kandinsky had synesthesia, so that relates directly to it. Here's a whole class, create Kandinsky-inspired art. So maybe you didn't know that we offered that here on Get Set Up. So this is really nice to know that there's other classes that might be related. Let's go back over here. Look, she gives us all of these here's all these great paintings that Kandinsky did, right? So what can I do with this information that she's given us? Well, I can just come in here and copy this right here. And I'm going to go ahead and copy that. Then I'm going to come in and maybe open my search engine. Maybe you like Google, maybe you like DuckDuckGo, whatever you like. And I'm just going to paste that right into there. Now, she knows that Vasily Kandinsky did that. Sometimes you might have to put in the actual artist, but let's click on this and see what happens. There it is, right there. So all I had to do was copy, paste, go right into my search engine, and she's pulled this up. So I can take something that Vasily Kandinsky did and I can apply it. Let's go back here. Let's see if there's any museums in the US that have Kandinsky's. That could be really cool. Let's see if she says anything here. Again, pulling up related classes on here, related articles. Okay, this is great right over here. The Joy of Art Museums. And here's one specifically about the Smithsonian. Maybe you've never been to the Smithsonian and that's something that would interest you. Click on that class. You can always come back to Helen. All right, let's see what she says. Oh, look at all of these places that have Kandinsky's. MoMA, the Guggenheim, the Art Institute of Chicago. Maybe these are places that are close to you and you want to go see some of these in real life. As much as art is beautiful on the internet, seeing it in real life, that's a life changer for me. So why not use Helen to even go further and dig deeper into this? You could do an art history question about Vasily Kandinsky, or maybe Georgia O'Keeffe or another abstract artist, my friends. Also, another thing that Helen can do is talk to you about specific art supplies. One question that's always, that people always ask, but maybe you don't have a guide to ask, is after you finish painting, how do you clean up? Because that's kind of important. So let's just ask her a brand new question right in the middle of all this abstract stuff, right? How do I clean my brushes in a safe way for me and the environment? I put environment. Here we go. Again, she's going to answer our question. And then over here on the right-hand side, she's going to populate some answers, maybe even a related article about that, about how to wash your brush. Those things are kind of important. Over here, she's giving you great answers. Rinse immediately, use soap and water, don't pollute your water sources. She's still going here, look. And that's really, really great to know that she's going to be able to answer those questions that maybe you can't get a guide to answer at that moment. Maybe you're watching this class at 3 in the morning because you woke up in the middle of the night and you're interested in art. Open up this platform, click on Helen, and ask her some questions. It really is like talking to someone who really knows what's going on about art and the art world. All right, my friends, I am going to stop sharing my screen. So give me one moment. We're going to come back to my face. Thank you so much. I am thrilled that AI is here and it's on our platform. I promise you, if you embrace it, it will aid you in your life and your creative artistic journey. Thank you so much for popping in here. I hope you have a wonderful day.